We're going to open our meeting and move straight into the hearing. The administrative officer will present his testimony, and the applicant opportunity, and then any other interested party present. Are there any questions as to how this is going to proceed?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Whose jurisdiction is this for the, is this an approval process?
Yeah, we have, of course, I'll go ahead and open the meeting.
Okay.
At 6:07. On the Grafton, Tuesday, March 21st, 6:07. First thing first, members of the board, if you had a chance to review the agenda, with any comment? Motion to approve. Eric. Second, Steve. Discussion. Being none, all those in favor of approving the agenda as written, saying aye. Approved. And we will just put sure to get on the hearing. 8, we have before us a request by the applicant and property owner Mike Marizzetti for classification of the minor subdivision and for subdivision of 3 roads by this parcel. Which is parcel number 009069.1 on the town map, consisting of 13.98 acres to be subdivided into 3 lots, namely lot 1, consisting of 6.18 acres, approximately lot 2, consisting of 2.72 acres, approximately, and lot 3, consisting of 5.08 acres, located at 2900 Route 121 East. At this time, I would ask all those who will be offering testimony, that would be the administrative officer, the applicant, any interested party to just take the following oath. And would say I do. I hereby swear that the evidence I gave in the cause under consideration shall be the truth, nothing but the truth, under the pains of double duties of perjury.
I do.
Okay, and I will turn it over to the administrative officer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a public hearing for a request that you just heard that the chair just read. It's for approval of a subdivision. The notice of this was published in the Grafton News on the March 23rd issue, and it was on March 3rd sent to all of the abutters, and I have the certificate of the persons I sent it to, and this was the notice that was sent with that, and Michael Terrancetti is the owner, and he put the notice. He put this notice up on the road. When I drove by there a few days later, I saw it there. Thank you very much. And the subdivision regulations allow for 1 hearing when you have a minor subdivision. As this is a 3-lot subdivision, it is a minor subdivision. There is 1 right-of-way created through lot 1 for the benefit of lot 2. The access to lot 3 is directly off Route 121. And when you look at the subdivision, you will see near pole 412, I think it is, there is an entry into lot 3. Okay. The drawing is, in the opinion of myself, adequate for the hearing. You can see notation on the application for public hearing where it asks, there's a checklist to see if all of these requirements are met, the name of the subdivision, the name of the town, the date, the true magnetic north, map and scale, name and address of the owner, names of the address of the adjoining property owners, a field survey boundary with boundary lines of the tract being subdivided, with the bearings and distances and so on. The survey showing the location and dimension of all proposed lot lines, the corners of all lots marked on the survey by a monument approved by the board, and if appropriate, any proposed on-site septic. It met all the requirements of the of our regulations, and so the only question I have, the only thing I don't know is I'd like to ask Mr. DiBernardo, are the pins set yet? Not yet. Okay. So that would be part of the order. If you approve it, is that the pins be set at the time before the Mylar is recorded. And that's all I have right now. If there's questions on the flood regulations and the flood zones, he has done markings on the map, but I also have the flood maps here if need be.
Okay. Is there any questions from the board for the
Well, my question is, because obviously the maps have been drawn by the survey, and are they in accordance with the state guidelines, and does the state approve this, or does the state have to approve it?
No, this is under the jurisdiction of the Development Review Board of the town of Grafton, and we're the only ones that have to approve it.
There is, it being a minor subdivision, there is no Act 250 or state involvement. So but by your attendance here tonight, we do have standing in this matter.
It probably doesn't matter. What is the criteria for a minor or a major subdivision?
It's up to four or less is minor.
4 or less, 4 or less
Plots
on how many?
on any
Any amount.
amount.
Yeah, I heard that the other day. I was amazed. 1 acre you could build.
We don't have any zoning regulation. There's no minimum lot size, nor is there any regulation on what you can do on your property,
Right?
as long as it's legal. So,
Yeah. And so, there were 3 phases of the flooding issue, right? Zone and.
Okay, there's a,
Plain.
you're not gonna be able to see this very well, but no, I just want to show this. This comes from the A&R map, and you'll see. I have a few western ones. I'll pass out a few, but you'll see that this has cross hatches through the red, and the cross hatches are through the red. That is it. That is the floodway.
The big red thing.
The big red thing. That is the floodway. And in this case, the entire special flood hazard area is not only, it is in the floodway. Pardon me? The entire, in this case, on this piece of property, the entire zone that's in red is in the floodway. It's not only just.
How is it?
Okay. The special flood hazard areas, in this case, they are elevated. They're elevated flood hazard areas. And then there are floodway areas. If you have an elevated flood hazard area without the floodway, there are some things that you can build there, provided you meet all the requirements of the town. If it's a floodway, if there's a floodway, there really isn't any exceptions. If you're in the floodway, you cannot build there. Yeah.
Hold on, dude.
I have a question about that. So this is new. It's not from FEMA.
Oh, this is.
Oh,
This
this
is-
was.
this is great. I don't care what it is. This is what the flood map looks like, but this is what the flood map looks like. This is from the ANR Atlas. The flood map, the problem with the flood map is that you can't really read it. I mean, you can have a copy of it, but they're very difficult to read. You can't see the houses. For some reason, that's the way FEMA wants them produced. The old maps were really good. The 1997 maps were really good. The 2007 maps, which are new and improved, you can't read. They're really hard.
Does FEMA have
They are online, yeah. Yeah, they look just like that online.
you know, like on GPS, you can see the property.
You can, yeah, you can see all that on, but when you go through, for some reason, they took their photographs of this area in winter. So everything is white. You don't see anything. The maps that we have, those come from the maps we have here in the office. That there, but when you take them off the website, they're really bad. They're fuzzy and white. Yeah. But
Yeah, across from lot 3, it's the piece that most affects mine. And I'm curious what could be built on lot 3 as far as.
in that area that's outside the floodplain, anything could be built on lot 3.
So there's no proposed septic. On that.
No, they would have to go through the septic. And it might be problematic because of where it's located. I don't know, but they would have to go through the septic just like everybody else would. It would either, if it all perked, it would be fine.
So there is a potential building lot 303, even though it doesn't show.
All, well,
That's a division of property. So in Vermont, you don't have to do that until you go to build.
But again, there is in the realm of possibility of house to be built.
Yeah, they'd have to find a suitable spot for, like you said, septic. Meets all the septic requirements. Make sure the bubble base flood.
I'll say one more thing. I've lived there for decades, and I know it's a major wildlife crossing area from the whole Ledge Road area, the Hayden Brown Lane, Deer Hill, all through there. It's bear and deer crossing all the time. And I hate to see it develop. I'm not sure why you want to develop it. I assume you need money or whatever, but I hope the board does not approve. So.
Yeah.
there is no, that is not a basis for not allowing it to be subdivided.
I'm sorry, what's your name? Eva?
I think that you should have him testify first.
Bill, if you're done. And
Yeah.
there are no more questions for the. Go ahead and give the applicant and his representative an opportunity to present their testimony, and then we'll have the opportunity. This time I'll turn it over to Garcetti.
Well, just a few, I was basically told that property, 5 acres is always existed to be, that was already such a lot there.
Lot 3.
Yeah, lot 3 has always been a lot. Ish. When I bought the property, it was a few blocks. So close to, but really.
And so what would you anticipate might happen? But you, in this proposed subdivision, it's a separate lot.
Okay, so, wait a minute, let me explain something, okay? You have it in front of you. It says that you're subdividing a parcel 69.1, correct? Okay, on his tax bill, he owns 69.1. He also, but 69.1 includes the parcel that is on the northerly end of that, up against what used to be that house that that greenish house that sits there. The property goes all the way up and joins there.
Yeah.
What's her name now? Yeah, 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 her. You know, I'm getting old, so I forget things. Anyway, so that they're not really, he's not really subdividing that off. When Joe did the map, he did it so that the whole thing could be surveyed, I presume. He's subdividing the 69.1. That other parcel already exists. But it's part of this subdivision.
It's lumped together as one.
It's like, because when you get your tax bill, if you own adjoining properties, you only get one parcel. Okay, yeah. That was the reason for that. So that third lot 3 already exists as a separate parcel. Right now, without doing a subdivision, he could sell that off separately. Okay.
So that property line hasn't changed.
No,
Just three.
there's two parcels in the deed. That's all lumped together in the tax bill.
So the basis elevations for the structures need to be shown or determined?
We already did elevation certificates on both those structures previously for Stephen Ward. So they both been removed from any kind of special permits and everything.
It's 2 foot now? Not 1 foot. Above. Right.
The grade touching the building just has to be above the base flood. I mean, it can be literally, a millimeter of a, has to be above
Any new structures though, they need to meet.
grade.
When you approve the regs, it'll be 2 feet. Right now, with the regs that were approved in, it's 1 foot, but that was approved in 90. I don't remember. Yeah, but it is 1 foot. It's 1 foot.
Your front. Correct.
Yeah.
These are pre-existing.
Yeah, they don't have to meet the new regs as a regs are, they had to meet the regs at the time it was built.
But moving forward, 5 years down the road,
Future development would have to meet the current regs.
Alright, so you would not need to get that fire. Floodway. Right, no, correct.
It has to be done according to the regulations, which means you cannot add land in the floodway. In this case, the whole thing is in the floodways, that everything that is restricted is in the floodway, but there is quite a bit of property that is outside the
Yeah,
flood.
and then you're talking about.
Are there any questions from you?
level of the river. Brook that is shown on the map is really an old course of the floodway of the river. Anybody that would build, I guess, now on lot one, ought to be all aware of the potential flooding. Even though FEMA says that you're high and dry, by putting the floodway, but the flood area outside of those potential building areas. Just by.
I would be interested to know the accessibility for emergency vehicles.
Well, he's got a driveway into both parcels already that can accommodate emergency vehicles. So, anything that happens on lot 3, if it happens, obviously will need to be approved by the town. Make the driveway wide enough to get a fire truck in there, so forth. There's a place to turn, like park a fire truck right by the garage. Or actually, you can bridge right in next to the house.
This is the separate the two buildings, correct?
The intention is to, so there is already a building.
Yes, one, yes.
Yeah. Well, stairs, so my intention as I work towards retirement would be to turn back into my tiny house.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to my home to go, okay. So that's the whole intention. We left and she goes, no, and when it comes to leaves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and the chances are, you're moving into that because it is small and you're not gonna add on.
Actually already in conversations about getting the plans.
Right.
But I cannot think cash as I go, yeah.
Well, that makes total sense, really. I just thought that was it, but I wanted to.
I don't understand. Was the septic on lot 3? Did you do that or was that the previous?
There's no septic on.
Not the septic, but the plan, the consent. Was that already there? From when you bought it, like?
Yes.
Oh,
There was one lot I was paying taxes on, it was already split. Two
Yes.
pieces.
right. But the septic-
There's no septic.
It's already there.
No, there's no septic. You're talking about
Yeah.
from your house side.
What's it?
Do we have any more questions for?
Board. Any questions?
Before you close, I'd like to make a finding about the,
Okay.
I'll do that. Yeah, before you close, make a finding on the minor subdivision.
Okay. I will entertain at this time a motion from the board to find that this is a minor subdivision. Okay, motion by Steve, second by Eric. Discussion. All those in favor of finding that the proposed subdivision meets the threshold for minor subdivision, vote by saying aye. Opposed? Motion is carried. If there's no other testimony, we heard on the way it will work. We will make motions of findings of fact related to the application, and then we make our decision. All right, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing. We have Matt, Steve. Okay, discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor, aye. Close. Thank you, everybody.
You can stick.
You are welcome to stay.
You can stick.
Folks are welcome to stay. The meeting still is in progress, so I would ask you to respect the meeting. You're welcome to stay and listen.
Okay.
How you been? How's your dad? How's your dad? Say again? No, what, you just go into the findings.
Okay, so at this time, I want to in findings of fact following that notice of the hearing. Today's hearing was published in the March edition of the Grafton News. That notice was posted on bulletin boards and on the property itself as required, and notification, and it was also sent to all the abutters on the same day. Second finding would be that all interested persons were given the opportunity to testify. Those testifying were
Myself, Michael Terenzetti,
the applicant, his representative,
Joe, Miss Mulrath,
Kate Morath,
Tracy Lake, and Miss Benson.
Yeah.
Did he? Okay. Okay.
All right. So those are the interested parties who are given an opportunity to testify. The applicant did present his request for the classification as a minor subdivision approval. Subdivide parcel 00906 lots. Lot 1, 6.1 acres, lot 2, 2.72 acres, and lot 3, 5.08 acres. Grafton. The pins shown on the plat have not.
That's correct.
but they will be placed once the subdivision as proposed. is approved. The finding fact, the subdivision was by motion of the board declared to be a minor subdivision. 6, the plat presented met all the criteria required for a plat for a minor subdivision. And lastly, I guess that's it. So, I would entertain a motion to open the findings back as just enumerated.
Somebody.
Motion by Steve, second by Eric. Is there any discussion? Okay, there being none, we'll move straight to vote. All those in favor of approving the findings of fact, vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. This time we'll make our decision. That the request by the applicant, Michael Kennedy, for classification of minor subdivision and for subdivision approval to subdivide this parcel into 3 lots consisting of 1 acres, of 6.1 acres, lot 2 of 2.72 acres, and lot 3 of 5.08 acres is approved. Addition. One that all the pins will be set. The plat where the plat is recorded. That the applicant shall cause error in the plat properly executed by the members of the DRB to fill filed with public records in the town graphic.
For some reason that gets in there, but executed by me, by the administrative officer.
Yep. And I will, the DRB will sign off on it.
Yes,
Within key part is within 180 days of the final plan approval. So that would be from today's date.
I mean, what happens in 30 days?
the Mylar has to be recorded.
It's the official drawing.
Oh.
And that fee's already been paid to us, so.
But you do have that 180 day constraint. So I will entertain a motion to accept the request by the applicant. Yeah.
Lot 3, you considered a wildlife corridor. We're talking about that at the last meeting for everything areas along the river that maintain for wildlife habitat and corridor.
That's not within your jurisdiction.
I mean, that's something.
Something that we could work. Easement.
No, we talked about that, but we're gonna have a process that's mentioned that it's an option.
It's not perfect.
I know I've got a section of my land and it's someday.
The only thing we can do is just say this is a minor subdivision, pretty much, right?
This board.
Basically, and it meets those requirements.
So do we make any notes that we realize it's a wildlife corridor? We don't have. to.
There is, no, it'll be in the minutes that you talked about it. But you don't have any jurisdiction to put any burden on the owner of the property.
Yes, no, and this.
They'll be in there.
surveyor accepts no responsibility. I think I basically got it wrong.
Okay, so I will entertain a motion to approve the request of the applicant. Motion by Seth, second by Matt. Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving
The decision.
the decision,
That's what this is,
the
the decision.
decision to approve. Vote by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried.
Yeah, so just bring it in.
Depends on getting my line.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Is there, do you want to, since the appointments were made last night, do you want to do organization now, or do you want to do organization whenever we ever meet again, whenever that is?
Are we missing one person?
No,
John's not.
John is switched to alternate. So this is your board right now. John Plummer is not on,
He's on.
he ended this
Okay.
year. Matt has been nominated, and then there's and Seth had been on, right? You've been on already. And then we have Joe and John
And they're just alternates.
as the alternates. Joe Paulio and John Gregg.
The 5 and 2 of them. 5 and 2 of them.
So we need to organize what chairperson.
Basically, just need a chair. I think we have a clerk too, but
I nominate Chris. Chairman. Aye.
You overrided it.
You're so good at it that you're, the way you use that gavel.
okay. I think that's the only thing that needs to be done.
So by reg, I would require a chair, vice chair, clerk, any other, or just a chair.
You probably should have a vice chair in case you can't make it. So don't everybody speak up at once.
Nominate Matt.
I nominate Chris. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. All right. So we have a nomination of staff. Second.
But that was the only thing I had.
Okay.
I just want to say, with regard to, I'm always torn with the damn flood maps, because the flood maps aren't worth crap, so that's the problem. So, they should be careful. Anytime you build near the water, you should be careful. But you cannot rely on these stupid maps. The one in my house is up behind my garage. If I were to enforce, if somebody wanted to build, if there was no house where my house is and they wanted to build it, which is in the creek in the middle of what should be the flood plain, and well, it's no floodplain because there's no floodway. It's beyond that. It's just, all it is an unelevated flood zone like yours. Okay. I would say, well, you can't put the garage over there on the hill because that's a floodplain, but you can build a house right here in the middle of the creek. Okay. And his house, you saw, the floodplain, it came up out of the ditch here. The other side of the floodplain was here. So a flood would look like this.
Water doesn't do that.
No,
Our level
not
is
often,
down.
not often unless you're turning really fast. But anyway, no, and so, yeah, and then I'm going to talk about it a little bit at the, again, at the meeting tonight. But I'll just describe it. I think I can describe it pretty carefully. You know, down here on Townsend Road where the bridge goes over and where June has her house.
Yeah.
Okay, that, okay. Right before that bridge on the flood maps is elevation E. That elevation E is shown on this side of the bridge. And it is here. Let's say that for the all purposes of discussion, it's right here, okay? It is really located, it was really here. They just moved it to here. It being here, and this is how this flood line goes like this, goes downhill, right? Okay, it being really here, when you get here, he's 12 feet lower. The flood is 12 feet lower than the land. And it just, that's how bad the maps are. And the other thing is what happened out here by the farm, where there's a big drop. There's a elevation here at Fisher Hill, just this side of the Walker Bridge. And then the next one's it's way down where that island is. And this drops really fast, then it goes flat pretty much all the way to the island. Okay, that's not how the floodplain is. They just drew a straight line like this. So all these people in here that are way down here, they're and from the flood, who are way above the flood, are in it, you know. So
Yes, yes, we're just finishing.
we're just finished. So that's why I have no. I enforce them exactly as they are. Somebody want to be able to be exactly where that line was, and that would be it, which is on his thing. But
We have to go by.
yeah, but I don't know what you do in my case of my house. You know, if my house wasn't there, I don't know what you would do. You would do what we did at your house, and that is get a letter map amendment to show you that it wasn't even there. Exactly. What the map shows.
We have a little business. Not only can we concur. Please, all those in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Meeting is adjourned. 6:49. Thank you, everyone.
Welcome. Now, I can. Where's the pause to stop. I can stop this recording. And then you have another Zoom on the planning commission, right? Do I dare?
Keep it.
Just keep it running? I can pause it. That's
I
what
knew
she
it was a
said.
different link. I doubt they were going to.
No, okay, what I'm gonna do is just pause it. Okay.
Take the meeting to order. And is there a motion to approve the agenda? Similar to last one. Second. All in favor? Approved. Has everybody had a chance to look over Lester's minutes from the last meeting? Thank you for that. That looked good. Any issues, exceptions of the minutes, as prepared? First few questions that we need. The motion to approve the minutes. So, second. All in favor? Minutes approved. And now the next topic again is the wastewater plant. I don't know if there's much really to add. Seems like my understanding, I had another meeting right But what Joe told me is that it's. They don't have any, right now, there's any other alternatives, yeah, previously discussed, correct?
It feels a little bit like pushing. You need to get. Uses all. Zero water. That has been basically develop effective use. And we need to know how. I'm not sure what the problem is. We need to push harder.
With a wooden machine.
Where it's settled.
It's evolved into another name. I did get a response back, but now it's another matter of responding to the response. So we've been in communication with a company that deals with these living machines, options for communities. Should we be asking them to join us in the?
Can I ask you to speak up a little longer? You're not gonna be heard on the tape, all of you. Yeah, you too.
Should we be asking them to join the planning commission? I would like that.
They said that they, when they canceled that meeting, I'm talking just at the select board last night. They said at the select board last night that there was another one tentatively scheduled. And I got it that it was in like 2 weeks. But I didn't get it. If they gave a date, I didn't take it down because I'm not involved. Yeah. And they canceled that meeting because they were not prepared to discuss anything because they hadn't found any alternative to the 2 fields that were not acceptable.
Should we be thinking of just bypassing them? I mean, what we're talking about is a possible solution. Let's find more information. They have no role to play in that.
I don't want to teach farmers.
Well, if
I don't know if that's going backwards or, really going to the new direction. The climate better.
I don't see them as being able to play a positive role in this new direction that's possible.
And again, I don't want to. Holy grail, but. Well, we don't have to pay, we don't pay them anything.
there's 2 things I want to say. First of all, yes, it's a $96,000 altogether grant that we pay back if we go ahead with the project. We pay nothing. The state eats it if we do nothing. That contract calls for a 30%, a 60%, a 90% reporting. They've done the 30%.
We've never got beyond that.
Pardon me?
We've never got beyond the 30%.
We've got the 30% when she gave that town meeting here. Okay,
Wow.
they've never gone any further. So if you were to, and the whole idea of that is you can stop it at any time. I do not recall the whole contract. I do not know if you can. Well, since they are exploring possibilities, it would seem to be within that next 30%, they could explore the possibility of a biological thing instead of the other. And that biological thing is used everywhere in the United States now, and it's been used. Shoot, my brother, it was used in Missoula, Montana with the water company. It was using it probably 40 years ago, 30 years ago. They put the thing up there and you could drink the water coming out of it. You know, I mean, this was a long time ago. And so those things are very well known. And now and apparently that's something like what they did at MKT, something similar. I don't know exactly what it was, but anyway, so yeah, but I have to say this, and I have nothing to do with it anymore. All these comments, you've got to take to the select board and tell them to get off their butt and do something. Otherwise, you're going to be having the same conversation later. You guys got to go to the meeting and do it. And you're on the select board. But no, you guys got to go and do it. You can't say it'd be really nice to, I mean, even the select board would say it to me and it's like, well, we should send them a letter. No, someone should send them a letter. No, not someone. You're looking at the 5 people sitting up there. They're the ones that should send the letter, you know.
Really not looking at do what I tell them. Very reasonable thing to put in.
That's what I would think so too.
Well, I've been communicating with Joe and Aaron through this. In the meetings, and I sent Aaron. Yeah. So John Todd did get back to me. But Aaron wrote back to me, and so the problem isn't with how we digest it, it's how it gets sent out and feel that it needs to go into the meeting. Well, I don't think we need that big of an area if we're treating it, you know, with plants in a greenhouse and doing the living machine process. Coming out the other end is going to be a lot cleaner than just directing the pipe out into a big leach field. So she wasn't coming to not understanding what this was. She said she went to their site, and I did send email to John Todd, get back to me with I was basically said they were a small village solution. We wanted to know what the volume of wastewater was. And I said we're looking to keep it pretty down. And it includes the concentrated area of the village, 60 miles plus the minor plus the famous area. And he hasn't got me back to me, and it'll be 10 days.
And I think patients starts as plus the cheese factor.
Plus the chief, well, that's the weighing factor. Will the weigh be part of the process, or will it not?
Yeah.
Did I guess?
It is reasonable.
Or you definitely get the heat developed the process. I know there's a plant ready to sell Vermont Tech Trail, just spent $4 million on a digester for garbage for the farm there, and they weren't getting enough garbage in to keep it going, and they closed it. We had a $4 million plant up at Vermont Tech College for the farm, and they're not using it. They can't truck enough garbage to it, keep it running. Yeah.
Can they move it down here?
We're all going to do public view.
Well, not food is anything, it's food. I mean, food
Yeah.
scrap
It helps.
helps to really spark the manure to get the. You know, the landlord is used as energy.
Just in our home works too. Westminster. Flats.
Well, at one point, wasn't there there was a wastewater committee, but it expanded. They got put all the problems, right now, you know.
Once you get into the grant process, it was too much for the committee and it was. Select board needed to make a decision. We're going to get back to the.
But I remember was it a few months ago, we had the guy, I think he just brought him in, he talked about the different plans. Can be done, he was the importance of having a committee like that all the way through the process.
Well, that was Mark Johnson's.
He appeared by his name. Yeah. Yeah. He was saying, it's important to have a committee all the way through the process because it keeps more of an investment. Community. Yeah, see, to me, that's something that maybe a good idea that I can bring up to the select board to maybe have a more than just the select board people, select board members doing it. Because you and Eric have so much knowledge on this topic, for example. It seems to me that it's sort of wasted. It's not. You guys are thinking outside the box more so than other people.
Well, that said, even though it's outside the box, we've got Aaron with engineering, time on, pushing back a little bit,
Yeah.
Me. And then we've got Lynette with the state saying, oh, the grant won't cover that, right?
Yeah, that's what she said.
It'll only cover each process, but not the living machine. And we asked why and Greenland one. And the state runs the sharing just area, and we see found some information on, actually on Todd Engineering's website, that the facilitator there says it's working great, and they don't have to worry about maintenance as you would with other systems.
We'll respect that as
This pump happens to be one that is regionally very significant. There's campaign. That project is trying to solve this issue for multiple towns. So. Carol, introduce yourself. See. Yes, all right. I think we can bring the WRC into the fold, maybe. This whole process so that more than one town could develop similar system. I'm guessing that if we had a system that would handle graphic, holographic, village and the foundation input. That system hopefully wouldn't require one full time. But if we had several of these systems, that person could be timeshare between two or three different sites and probably would be fully employed. Someone really biting into for many of these towns which have their economic development kind of glass ceiling. Can't go any further than septic capacity of the soil around the buildings will allow.
Well, it said, they want to increase housing development. The battle going on, we're actually different right now, not there.
Want to increase income.
But how do you do that without? Even if you took this development like that, subdivision, you want to put 3 homes on there. Say they were on a system, you know, how much impact would they be? Would you be able to include them? Well, more close to the village there. They said, oh, you need to add 21 homes. It could come down to that, you need 1 more.
Well, then you start getting into real politics. If you start talking about 20 homes in the village, you only have 60 homes in the village to start off with, all the small plots. It's an interesting problem. You know, one, you know, my initial word is that I want to be telling you how to follow the local file. I don't mind having a requirement imposed that's reasonable. Then we're allowed to solution. Eventually, we could just impose it.
The problem is you can't find a solution because of their regulation. And then they come down on you with another. With some, it's like a good kind of plan, but regulation, how are we gonna meet all these things?
You know, what the regulation, it just amazes me how far behind Vermont is. It's that since they're so supposed to be so advanced environmentally. Because, for instance, I don't even, do they even accept the composting toilets anymore yet? I don't think so.
We didn't have a place for the leach field and we still needed that.
Yeah, but when we put it in at the camp as a camp, that wasn't, we could only use it because it was a camp. We can't use a composting toilet. And why? It really makes zero sense. But they did let Mosley do a composting toilet. So maybe the new regs doesn't allow it, and then, because she had designated a place where she's going to dispose of the burn up material on her property. She could only dump it in one place. Yeah. So, but anyway, I don't, it's just amazing to me when you have all this technology that is out there, that it's not new, it's all proven. Why it isn't allowed, I don't know.
Well, the first meeting for me, obviously, a lot of water under the bridge here. Is all this stuff kind of in one location to review, like the grant proposal? Todd Engineering has a proposal, it sounds like. There's various options. Is this all kind of lined up somewhere to review?
Yeah, well, Todd doesn't have a proposal, it's time bond that we're working with for engineering.
Okay.
Study. Todd is just kind of a research that I did to find someone who was involved with living.
Does it? Okay.
There are minutes of meetings between Time Bond and the town, and they're the minutes of their meetings for 2 years that you could get by either talking to the clerk or to the town administrator.
Yeah, they have their bridge plan. About the original proposal.
I don't want to take you through all the detail, but there were a couple locations that didn't work for.
Up there, the town park.
Going for,
Okay.
I'll blame that on.
Well, this time, right from the beginning, Howland Mills was not looked at. It's a long way, but it didn't leach at all. I mean, they knew that right from the beginning. You're not talking about the field, you're talking about up in the woods.
Just
So
the
yeah, the
soil
first
review.
study for up on that. On the 4 and. 9.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Those are the most serious ones. Those are the- variety of places. One uses it. But really, it's just like.
I think that a good view of that, because the town bond presentation should be available through the town website.
I'll take a look. Thank you.
It was on, yes, it's recorded and you should be able to get it. You can ask the town administrator,
Middle September.
October, I'm pretty sure.
That's a good one, which you saw where. So we're going at that point. It's not a little further.
But realize we're going nowhere else with what they came with. And it sets it.
Basically, we don't have 2 acres to put 130,000 gallons each.
And then, is it on Zoom, the presentation we had from John and blanking on his name 3 or 4 months ago, addressing this. And Seth said that important point he made is having a committee with the ability to move things along. That was a good discussion. That's what, that's on Zoom.
Yeah. Have a solution to.
Yeah.
That's a very. They're granted to help communities.
Because something like that could lead to, at the state level with, an agency saying, well, you can't do this because we have our rules and understanding of how life works and fit. But with some energy in politics, we can listen. There's that possibility to go there. Look, this is pollution. The cost. I'd say what's not the pollution also. Let's say a full safety cost, but anyways, and so let's sit down and figure out how to work this with Europeans.
We need to meet with the right people, because you can't just go to the ones that are just like the DMV going, no, you can't do this.
Yeah, well, maybe fine. Second, but what it leads me to is I want to understand it so that I can think about it, use the way and talk about it. So, the two of you have an understanding that I don't have, I'd like to get a little bit more towards that. So part of it is for our commission.
Well, I think you guys are welcome to come to Zoom meetings. The meeting, once we get it, I'll get it, I'll support it, you guys. You know, I just look, I've been finding the.
We're supposed to refer in 2 weeks.
But Matt, you're waiting to hear from Todd?
We're waiting to hear from John.
Does that sound like that's
Yeah,
a basis for us to get it?
and that referral came from UMass. That's who they use to research what they've done down there.
All right, anything else on the, what do you call it, plan right now? The flood mitigation plan, this is we approved the report last month. But I got caught up in the trial in Florida, so I wasn't able to do anything with it. Until it's here tonight, and I just want to make sure we have the of what we need to do. Then we need to take that report and all the proposed changes. So, and then we have to send it out to, I'm reading the statute. At least 15 days prior to the first hearing, a copy of the proposed bylaw amendment or repeal on the written report shall be delivered physically or electronically to the following: the chair of the planning commission of each abutting municipality, the executive director of the regional planning commission area, Department of Housing and Community Development, then the agency of commerce and community development. Right here. Do we need to put something in the draft of news too, or
Say again,
do we need to put it, I guess we just need to put a notice of the hearing in the draft of news, or what do we need?
what we do, you need a 30-day notice of the hearing, I'm pretty sure, and then they have to have 15 days notice, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and when I did that before, you simply call the towns around, sometimes not so easy, but basically you call the towns around, you get the email of the chair of the planning commission, not the town administrator, the chair of the planning commission, and you send it to them. And the way I did it is I did it with where you get the automatic receipt back that they got it and then that they've read it. And you do the same with everybody else. And you used to be in the old days, you had to send it by registered mail, all that stuff. Just electronic is the best way to do it. And it's cheaper and it's faster. Yeah, send it all them, and then you won't hear from anybody because no one's even going to read it.
So it would be what, Chester,
So-
Rockingham,
Chester, Rockingham, Townsend, Athens, and Wyndham. Wyndham.
so all those towns have planning commission?
Do they have a town plan?
Pardon me?
Do they have town plans?
I have no idea.
I'll take care of getting that done. But if we're gonna say that the hearing meeting, right now we're March 21st. We need 30 days notice for so the hearing will have to be in May, right?
Yeah, I've just put it on your meeting in May. Now, Morgan sent out something to Buzz saying the third Tuesday, it's the second Tuesday. Yeah, second Tuesday, not third. Yeah, note that, okay.
It changed the Tuesday, Wednesday or something?
Yeah, because of the,
Because of, no.
Valentine's Day.
Our meeting.
Yeah, it was changed. Out there, I don't know. So we'll put it, we'll get the notice and the draft news, the notice just needs to say what, there's gonna be an amendment. flood regulations?
Yeah, do it, just do a public hearing, just really simply, and then put the title of the document and say amendment to the, whatever year it was, 1999, I can't remember anymore, flood regs. And I called them the flood damage prevention regulations when I named them. But I don't know what you
The
want.
2007, 2023 amendment. I have it as highlighted 2023 amendments. Town of Grafton flood hazard regulations.
Okay,
Um,
but I think you need to look at the title. I think they're called the flood damage prevention regulations. I'm pretty sure.
I have it. I just copied.
Okay,
Yeah, you're right. Flood damage prevention regulation. You like that any better?
well, I got that when I was down to Katrina. That's what they were calling them down there. So. Yeah, and that's, and I was writing it. So that's what it is.
Flood damage.
Because you don't really regulate a flood, so.
2007. Okay. So just notice we'll do it in May, and in the meantime, I'll look more than I'll do.
And at that, after that meeting, so you have two meetings, you know, you have a hearing, I should say, then you have a meeting right after, at which you then take action on what you discussed at the hearing that same night. And then, and you send it, the motion is to send it to the select board for their adoption. Okay, at that meeting, that's at the meeting.
Somebody else is going to do it.
Yeah, I know, but, okay, but make
But I'm
sure,
gonna take care of it.
so on the agenda, it should be the hearing, and then there should be a meeting right after the hearing to take action on it. SABATTO.
What the hearings are done. But we're. Well,
It's sent to them. They have a hearing too, but without all the rigmarole of noticing everybody. They just, but they have to do a 30-day.
Yeah, it should be done by July. We should be able to get it done.
Well, actually, I think the select board just has a 15-day notice. So prior to one of their select board meetings, 15 days out, they just do a regular notice of it. They don't have to do all the publications and all the other stuff.
She would like to know. Considering it. Regulation.
Yeah, she's the one that was on the emails from her. Okay. We got that covered. So the Grafton News, I just, again, this was a product of the trial. I just didn't know that there's questions to Wendy and enough time. Plus we had a later meeting. The ones we were going to do for last month. And we can do that this month. So somebody will just need to take over the email, check your email account. Grafton Planning Commission, Gmail. Grafton Planning Commission at Gmail. You'll get, you'll want, you'll get those. Yeah. And then the password is capital RUN, the number 2, capital L, exclamation point, VE. We need that to capital R, UN, that's lowercase, L, exclamation 2. I'm sorry, 2. And the L capital. VE. So it's run to live. I stole that from somebody else. See the check off box. For all the different things you can do.
Last questionnaire was responded. Liz?
Yes,
Liz is here. Liz?
So the questions we agreed to last time, I'm looking at what kinds of new businesses, if any, would you like to see in Grafton? Would you like to see extension of the trail system in Grafton, would you like to see a farmer's market in Grafton? That's what we agreed. Now, that's thorough. Ron's project looks great. Do we have them in PDF format?
Jeff Winford does. And he can apply it. And he can do that.
I just wondering earlier if we could put them on the town website.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So, and also, when we sent them the pictures of it, we asked, it would be all right for him to send that out to other planning commissions and just let them know to do something. So, we want PDF.
Oh, I could post the pictures of them up.
Sorry?
Post the pictures of them up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we did.
No,
Those maps are on the website.
Hold on.
Those maps are on the website with the town plan.
Well, yes, no. Some of these maps have.
Oh, okay.
They're not, these, I think are much higher resolution, but you can actually, if you have the PDF, you can really zoom down into everything. Whereas I think the maps that are accompanying kind of plan sort of.
Okay, the other thing is, whatever you has to go on the website it can't be enormous. If it's big, you can't even get it on. If it's more than probably if it's more than 5 megabytes, you're not going to get it on.
Which is not.
We had a heck of a time just getting that on.
It seems to me there ought to be a workaround.
If you have them, then go through Morgan with the higher resident. She can go directly to the lady at the WordPress and she can get them on. But they're still. She can get them on even though if they're over the limit, but she's probably gonna limit the amount once you can get on. But anyway, just go through Morgan and have Morgan talk to Kevico. Kevico's the one that does it.
Yeah.
Say again?
Pretty sure our website does not allow links.
We don't allow links to other websites. Yeah, because and that's because we have no control over those other websites. And if someone were to hack into a legitimate website and do all sorts of crazy stuff on that website, and they went it to it from our website, then we're responsible. We have no security. We have no security.
We can put links to PDF. Yeah, because that's, I'm always clicking on the links. Here it is, a drafted village center map.
But what happens if it's not?
See that? Now, this is just of what's in the center of the north. Yeah, I think it looks good.
Well, what I started to say was that some organizations have a special website, file, and a file dump site where you can go without going on their website and you can go access big files.
FTP. Secure FTP.
The other problem, we don't have a techie. If you want, you know, I mean, Morgan is probably pretty good, but we have no one, we don't have a full-time technician operation to run all this stuff that you guys want. I mean, if you want that, then put it in your budget that you have and have somebody administer it through your budget and see if you can get it approved, because that was my problem. I've been on computers since '83, I think, something like that, but I don't know all this stuff on it. I'm not a techie. And we do have Dominion Tech, but we pay them every time they do something. And so, you know, all those things are really, really nice. I think you should take the quickest option that doesn't require anybody to keep any track of it on a daily basis. And that is put it on the website in the highest resolution you can and look at it. And
That part's important because there's so many websites out there to go to and realize it's not kept up. Looking for something.
Well, I'm also very. All right, well, everyone, thanks, good work. So now to new business and new members. I'll be on my last meeting. Planning commission. Taking my third. So you're taking my place. Because it's new, but you're taking my turn. You're assuming my turn.
Quick question. Hi, Buzz. I take it as the select board approved.
We did yesterday.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I thought, I was just wondering, the planning commission, no offense, but the planning commission were to come up with names for select board to choose.
They did. We voted on it last night. Select board, but we never had our meeting.
And just, there is the practice. Blackboard and.
So I know of others.
Last night they made it.
just as heads up to that, January every year, tell them to call the town administrator, say, I want to work for the town, and this is what I'm willing to do. If they don't do that, there is no way, and I put out millions of emails and get nothing back. Put letters in the grafted news, get nothing back. So if
Not here.
yeah, yeah, you did it. Oh, yeah, yeah, but they have to call. That's the thing. Call in January and say, when they appoint him, and if there's any opening, or if you don't like the guy that's on there right now, I'll do it, guy or gal, I'll take their place, but yeah, it's a real problem. But people got to speak up. Yeah.
You guys need to organize. here. So.
We're out of here.
You need a new chairperson. And Eric's the vice chair now.
And must be the clerk.
Okay.
Okay.
You guys need to.
I would like that.
Right, we got Eric nominated that and Ron seconded.
Yeah, only if we're all pitch in. And you be, tell me what you want for anything.
All in favor of that, you want to check with them? 4 ayes, 1 abstain.
Congratulations.
Then nominate Eric to be the vice chair.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. Most experience. We
And so then the clerk, last thing to do again, anybody want to nominate?
I'm not.
Ron second. Matt nominated to Ron second. All in favor? Aye. Now the planning commission. Guys. Here. We have some, any other new business to discuss? With members of the public here, right? Anybody want to say anything?
Happy to be here, find out what's going on in the world.
Thank you for coming. We really appreciate it.
After Liz's letter and I was speaking with her a little bit. After a lot.
And all the meetings are open to follow. So anytime you want.
Been talking with Cheryl about problem. Here, at least be aware of it. Thankfully, like veto our initiatives, however, values. Application and investigation. The graph includes roughly 2/3, maybe 3/4 of NS. They're both VRC resource very highly prized, precious, delicate, sort of don't touch it on the plans, which I don't believe 3/4 or even 2/3 could be on. There are probably a number of locations. That's a map over there. Right, this kind of wall shows where some of what I would critical resource. But the WRC, which has followed recommendations of the agency, resources being driven by forest blocks and habitat have designated grafting as being basically a wilderness preserve. Don't think that grafting is deserved of that. Do think that grafting do things to further those objectives without being under quite such a big designation of basically. Maybe looking to the extent I can through the committees that I'm on and the others. And Cheryl probably do researches. Probably most of the discussion plan. We'll see if we can change the maps of the region.
What effect does that have on grafting?
Anytime somebody wants to do something that is of regional significance. The maps as resource land and almost get a veto letter to the agency of natural resources, whomever. It comes in the review process at the project review. So it can the map is yeah, the map is pretty broad in general, and it needs to be more specific. And I think the select board is gonna have to bite the bullet at some. Think about the process of varying easements. It makes sense. And by doing that, you're actually being fair to line. Restrict what can be done on to the forest. Allow animals to feel comfortable crossing, but at a cost to the public, not a cost to that particular land. Not fair.
Do you think this is something that, do you think the slip is going to do?
And it may end up being an issue on. I don't think it has to. When it comes to spending the money. Could appear.
Anything else? Okay, well. It's been a lot of fun working with you guys. Goodbye. Somebody left a coat here left with someone